Hey gang, this is Giga. We are back here on a very new but very different, all new and all different, if you will, X-Men video. Today's video is going to be not a tier list for once, at least for today. However, I had an idea that if somebody from Marvel came to ask me, "Hi, I'm John T. Marvel, real CEO of Marvel Comics. YouTuber no one watches, I want you to make a new X-Men series." And I agreed to it. Here's what I would do for my very own X-Men team for a reboot. I got the idea from watching a Christian video of him talking about Family Guy and how he wants to be in it, and I had an idea of something similar. Anyways, let's get into it. So my first thing I think about X-Men is, how does a team setup go? You got the Flyer, you got the big guy, you got the fucking Berserker, you got the Sidekick, the Elemental. Most times it's different, because every X-Men team is different, but usually they have something similar to that. And I thought to myself, what would my team like that be? So let's start with the Flyer. Siren, the daughter of Banshee. Now, Paul, you're probably not asking yourself because I'm watching this. Why are you using Siren and not Banshee? Well, simple. I want to take it back to the equality part of the X-Men. Where they're fighting for equality. They don't have an ethno-state. They have their own, a team, clearly. They're trying to save the world. They're heroes. But they fight for equality. But she's white, right? So how can she fight for equality? She's a woman. So that being set in mind here today, the woman fighting for equality for females. We Irish have gone through some shit. We know what it's like to have shit. So we want to give it back to the people by being superheroes. And why not have the woman do it, And our next one is the big guy. Well, in this case, the big girl. Because I would use Armor. Now, Armor is an interesting character. If you've seen the X-Men anime, you probably know her from there, nothing else. However, Armor is in the comics, and she is a really fucking good character there as well. Everything you know about her in the anime is similar to how she is in the comics, but she's more confident. But what I would do with her is make her, since she's probably going to be the youngest character on this list, that gives her a chance to be A, talk about rights of children, and B, you get to have her grow up and grow into her powers and her confidence. Her powers, she can't control her powers. She has to hone it in while she grows up, taking back to the youthness of the X-Men as well. I think that could be cool, if you ask me personally. Next one is our Summers, because we need to have Summers in every X-Men. But I don't really much want to talk about Cyclops because he's Cyclops. Everyone likes Cyclops. Well, Cyclops is a nice Cyclops, but who cares? But I really like his brother Havoc, and I think Havoc's kind of cool and underutilized nowadays. So, you can totally have Havoc in here as the Summers. He does the Summer shit, but I don't want him leading, though. That'd be nonsense. However, with Summers in there, we have the connection to the original X-Men, because Havoc was in the original X-Men as well for a while. You can have him also controlling his powers. For my Elemental, I choose Storm. Storm, it's an obvious choice of why I chose Storm. She's one of my favorite characters. She's the Elemental of the group. She's also a Flyer as well. That keeps her in the air. It helps ground the team up. She can be the leader. I want her to be the leader, honestly. Let's be real. She's Elemental. She does all the ice and wind and all of that. That's fine there. I don't need to go ahead and explain why she's in here. But our next one is the Sidekick of the group. Now, I feel like this sidekick, this character is really used now, especially if you used to read X-Force in the early 2000s. It's Psylocke. Psylocke as a character is popular. Everyone knows Psylocke. She's Storm in popularity. But I feel like we don't talk about her powers as a psychic as much as we used to. And if you've read X-Force, you would know that Psylocke is the one keeping Angel from going Archangel. And I feel like as a psychic, that makes her pretty powerful. Sure, she's not an Omega level like fucking Jean Grey is. But I feel like her psychic powers are strong enough to keep her as the group psychic, you know? For my Berserker, I choose Feral. Now, I know Feral's not a popular character. She exists, she's on Krakoa, she's alive. But she's not talked about as much as, like, Wolverine is, or, like, even Storm is. And I feel like that's a good idea to get her into a more notable role. If you have Feral in there, you know, she's the Berserker, that's what I want her there for. But, like, her cat-like appearance is weird. That's also, like, we can get in not needing a beast because we have Feral. But we would need a scientist still, and I'll go over that later. I feel like for Feral's character, it's, like, again, I don't really know everything about Feral. I could do Storm, or even, like, Siren, or Psylocke. But I feel like Feral would be a good way to introduce people to an idea of not needing a Wolverine as the Berserker right away. But that means we don't have a weapons maker, because we don't have Beast to be there to be the scientist of the group. But we already have an X-Men scientist. We've had one since Days of Future Past, still. It's Forge. With Forge on the group, you have him still being a mutant, clearly. You have him making the weapons and the suits and the stuff for the X-Men, and it still works out, I feel like. Mainly because I fucking hate Beast. But hey, you know, Forge is really a good character still. He's a scientist, he's very charismatic, too. I mean, he can he had the X-Growth, it's fine, it's cute, whatever, who cares? But him being a scientist gives him an opportunity to shine outside of being in Days of Future Past and nothing else, really, that people know him for. And that's my list for the X-Men, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me next to Giga. Have a wonderful rest of your day today. Stay safe and peace.
Rising!